Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Podcast Accelerator, the thrice-weekly show that brings you podcast education, industry insights, and straight-talking reactions to podcasting news. I'm your host, Mark Asquith, that British podcast guy and CEO and co-founder here at Rebel Base Media, the podcast tech company that creates the Podcast Success Academy, podcast websites, Productivity, Rebel Base Studios, and Captivate.fm, the world's only growth-oriented podcast host, where you can get your first month of podcast hosting for just $1 and transfer an existing podcast in completely for free. So go ahead and check it out now at Captivate.fm. Now, today on the show, a quick Surefire podcast trailer format that you can copy. I'm going to give him a trailer format. 90 seconds. It's all you need, all right? It's the perfect trailer, in my opinion. Sure, you can embellish it. Sure, you could change it. Sure, you could tweak it. But you know what? If you need a podcast trailer up and running, this is the thing to follow. It's the format that just makes it easy. So we're going to dig into that in just one moment. But a big, huge old shout out to my team over at AWeber, who are still giving you that 90 days completely for free to try their email marketing platform. Now, you might be thinking, Marco, why the heck would I want to do that? It's 2019. Email marketing, well, believe me, email marketing is the single most effective way of building and engaging with an audience and turning them into fans, all right? Don't believe me? Look at every podcaster that is succeeding. They have a way to build relationships, and usually that is via email. If you're not doing this, believe me, you're making a mistake. It's up to you if you take my advice, but for 90 days for free, what have you got to lose? Go and check it out, markasquith.com/AWeber. So, podcast trailers. Well, you know, they didn't really exist as they do now before late 2017 when Apple introduced the new trailer tag along with a couple of different ways of categorizing content. They gave us the tags that allowed us to publish in seasons and make that a lot easier. They gave us the way to publish bonus episodes, categorize our episodes as normal episodes. That's what this one is. But also they gave us a way to mark specific audio content as a trailer. So gone is the episode 000. Remember, everyone was telling you to do that episode 000 before your podcast to tell people a little bit about what it was. Gone is that. You know, gone is the 45-minute bloody episode 0. You don't need that, all right? Here's a simple and effective trailer format that you can copy right now. It's very, very simple. It's very, very easy. And after I've given you the format, I'm just going to read my trailer to you. I scripted my trailer. You can listen to it over on my website, markasquith.com. Go and click on the podcast tab. You can listen to the trailer. You can listen in your podcast app of choice. But here is the format. Number one, it needs to be longer than 1 minute. Longer than 1 minute. The reason for that is that for your podcast to count as downloads, the listener has to download enough data to constitute 1 minute of audio. If you create a trailer that is less than 1 minute, that ain't going to happen. All right? So you need 1 minute minimum. I urge you to script this. And I think personally, I don't believe this should be any longer than 2 minutes 30, just like a pretty standard movie trailer. Okay. Now, here's the format. You need to tell people who you are. You need to tell people what you are going to deliver to them on this podcast. You need to tell them when you are going to deliver it. You need to tell them where you are going to deliver it. You need to tell them how to find it. And you need to tell them that it is free. Okay, that is important. So let's recap that. Who you are. What you're going to do on this podcast. What can they expect? You need to tell them when you're going to release it. You need to tell them where you're going to release it and how to find it. And then you're going to tell them that it is free. Now, I want you to script out this 90-second podcast trailer, this 2-minute podcast trailer, okay? Script it out, refine it, tweak it, make it perfect, okay? I'm going to read mine out to you right now, okay? Welcome to the Podcast Accelerator, the thrice-weekly show that brings you podcast education, industry insights, and straight-talking reactions to podcasting news. I'm your host, Mark Asquith, that British podcast guy and CEO and co-founder of Rebel-Based Media, the podcast tech company that creates Captivate.fm, the Podcast Success Academy, podcast websites, Productivity, and Rebel-Based Studios. This short-form show typically runs for between 7 and 15 minutes and releases every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Usually a solo show. Every now and then, I'll feature expert podcast industry guests and release bonus episodes as the podcast industry continues to grow and develop. I cannot wait for you to join me on the Podcast Accelerator. And remember to tell your podcasting friends that the show is available to listen to for free in any app that supports podcasts. Now, go dive into the episodes and never forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel. Okay, you see what I did there? I told people who I was and why they should listen to me. Why should they trust me to teach them podcasting? I told them what I was going to do. I'm going to deliver a thrice-weekly show that digs into podcast industry education, insights, and straight-talking reactions to podcasting news. When? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Where? Every app that supports podcasts. And it's free. How do I find it? Well, you fire up your podcast app and you take a look. Okay? Super simple. Nice and easy. Nothing complex about it. Go ahead and copy that format. Do that today and record your trailer episode. If you need inspiration, go to markasquith.com, click on the podcasts tab, and you're going to see a trailer for the Podcast Accelerator for this show. Scroll further down, you're going to see a trailer for Spark of Rebellion. We're just in the process of doing one for Captivate, for Founders Fireside, and for all of my previous podcasts, 7-Minute Mentor, the Excellence Expected series, Straight Talking Guide to Launching Your First Product, and so on and so forth. So please, go and check it all out. It's vital, okay? You need to be doing this. And, well, thank you for joining me on the Podcast Accelerator. Remember to tell all of your podcasting friends that the show is available to listen to for free in any app that supports podcasts. And if you're wondering what the best next step to take for your own show is, whether you're a new or a veteran podcaster, go ahead and take our short 5-minute survey where I'm going to help you to diagnose and solve the biggest issue holding back your podcast. And I'm going to give you access to our free, vibrant Podcast Rebellion community, our weekly free group coaching, and some actionable insider-only emails. And plus, I'm not only going to give you all that, I'm going to give you a free invitation to the Podcast Success Academy as well. So please, go ahead and invest 5 minutes now to grow your podcast by heading to rebelbasedmedia.io/grow. And never forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel.